Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of It's All Been Done Before. And for all of you who have already watched my podcast on YouTube and listened to the podcast on all podcasting platforms such as Spotify and Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts, you already know what it means to have a podcast of It's All Been Done Before. And what has all been done before? Well, most businesses have all been done before, but there are always people out there who take a particular business that has been done before and they tweak it and they do it in their own way to make it successful for themselves. And today we are here with the well-known on Instagram and well-known where he is, Massimo Pirrone of Sartoria Italiana. And we met over Instagram, and he is here today live from Antwerp, Belgium. I always thought he was in Italy because he's Italian and his clothing is Italian, but I find out that he's actually in Belgium, and he'll tell us why he's in Belgium and how he got there. So welcome to the podcast today, Massimo. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much.
So tell us, you're in Antwerp and
Yes.
not in Italy. All your clothing is gorgeous. I see it on your Instagram and on your Instagram reels and on your stories. I could tell from a photo how nice your clothing is. How did you get to Belgium?
Oh, that's not a long story, but I practically grew up here because my parents came here for work. So my father came here from work eventually in the early 80s, and then I came with them. So I grew up in Belgium with my Italian parents, going up and down every year for vacation in Italy, up and down. And that's why I'm here in Belgium, because this is a question a lot of people ask me.
Mm-hmm.
So I practically grew up here because I came with my parents when I was a little kid. I was 4 years old.
So you obviously speak English, and
yes,
you speak Italian,
yes,
and you must speak French.
I speak French and I speak Flemish also.
And Flemish. That was the next thing I was going to ask. Flemish is a difficult language.
Really difficult, yes.
But you do have an Italian accent.
Yes, a little bit, I think. Yeah, because I mastered the Flemish and the Italian. I mastered them both. So for me, it's not about thinking or the English. I don't master it so well as my Italian, but I can't help myself, like you hear now.
I'm
my
sure your
English.
parents. I'm sure your parents are happy about that.
Yeah, they're happy. They're happy. So very happy about it. That's also because the television here is not a dubbing like in Italy. So we watch television. Knight Rider. You remember this? The
Yeah, with David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, David Hasselhoff. I was a really big fan, huge big fan in the 80s, and it's all in English, in Americans. All speaking in American. That's, I think, maybe why I absorbed the language. And
yeah, you picked it up from TV.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's very interesting. Very interesting. So how your big thing on Instagram every morning is the ristretto.
Yes.
So explain, before we get to talk about clothing and fabrics and mills and all these things, how did the ristretto come about?
Okay. So
because you have those beautiful espresso cups on your website. They look like they remind me of like the pottery in Taormina in Sicily.
Yeah. I will send you a cup set next week.
Okay. Thank you.
So you can admire them and drink a ristretto the same way. But this thing came a little bit with it came to life with the period of the COVID that everybody remembers, I think. And the ristretto is born. The first ristretto I drank was in Calabria. I was there in the summer. And I was 15, 16 years old. I don't know. And you go to the bar in Italy, you know, the bar is the coffee house.
Yes, yeah.
And there I saw these old guys doing this trick with the spoon around. So, and from my first coffee I drank, I keep doing it all my life. And then one day my wife asks me, but why you do that? I say, yeah, it's normal. It's like in Calabria, every old school guy does this, to have maybe the better taste of the cup, because you have to be careful, otherwise you will have your nose with coffee here, but you have you have to be able to drink it in the right way. So and that's, I think, a small gesture that for me has a big meaning, because it goes way back when I was 15, 16 years. And then I called it also the Pirrone way, and they recognized it. My followers recognized this also for the Pirrone way. So, and we invented the cups, and it was something nice to offer, like the Italian lifestyle is drinking a espresso ristretto, and then we offered it to our customers that they can buy it. If a customer comes here, he will drink it directly out of the cup. So and they really like the cups. And my wife said, "Oh, why don't we do some cups? It's not our core business, but we like selling it, so it's like fun."
No, they're very beautiful. I saw them. I saw
Yeah,
the patterns and the different colors on
yeah,
your website, and it has your name on there,
yes. It's
Massimo
Pirrone way.
Pirrone, a
Yeah, it's
Pirrone
Pirrone
way,
way. It's the
Pirrone
hashtag
way
Pirrone
there.
way. Yeah, and we actually had a lot of we gained a lot of engagement on Instagram for the coffee cups. So when it was like because wearing a suit is like a lifestyle, and the lifestyle is not about only the suit. It's about what you drink, what you eat, how do you drink, how do you eat. So I think it's not all about the suit, but it's total the lifestyle that is around, and that's why I love the coffee cups Pirone way, or maybe the drinking the coffee every morning, 5-10 minutes relaxing with a newspaper. It's like this is the Italian lifestyle.
No, I agree with you. You really created the Peroni way as a lifestyle. In the
Yes.
morning, you get your cup, you have your espresso, and then you go to work. And then on your reels on Instagram, then you enter the store, to
Yeah,
start your day.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's
Yeah.
talk about your store. You have a storefront,
Yes.
so it's retail. People could walk in
Yes.
off the street if they want to,
Yes. It's
but
retail and not retail because
uh,
it's a tailor shop, if I can call it like that. I don't know any other names because it's a shop where my customer friends come and say hi to me, and they come here when they need something. Other customers, I go to their office or their homes. That's another part of it. But yeah, it's a front store because people can just walk in if I'm here, because I
yes.
don't have any opening times again on the four window. Before I had Monday to Saturday, it's 10 p.m., 10 a.m. until 6 p.m., and then we're closed. So that's all gone because it's all an appointment. If I'm here, I'm here. If I'm not here, you have to make an appointment. So that's how
Understood.
tailoring works.
Right.
Because, yeah,
So it was
and
unlike my stores where we're just regular retail
yeah,
shops where we sold off the rack.
yeah,
You have times that you had to be there 10 to 7:30, and then the store is
exactly.
open. Whether you're there or not, there's
Yeah.
employees.
Exactly. No, here I have some off the rack items, but it's limited.
Yeah.
It's always limited edition, like some safari jackets.
Mhm.
We have a lot of shoes that we sell, but ties, pocket squares. These are the major items we can sell. But we see that we sell major of those items to our customers who come in. So there is not a customer who walks in and says, "Oh, I need a tie. Let me see your ties." Doesn't happen. So
Right.
because we are not a normal retail shop.
So you're selling those as accessories to the clothing that you're making for
Yes,
the customers, and you have it right there for them to show them. They could look at
exactly.
a swatch and they could say, "Hey, these nice 2, 3 ties will go with this swatch nicely." And when the suit
Exactly.
comes in, you'll have nice accessories, pocket
Exactly.
square, tie,
Or maybe in the other
pochette,
way,
pochette,
the
pochette.
pochette, yes, la pochette. Or maybe in the other way that you showcase them on Instagram,
Right.
and they come with the picture, and then they walk into the shop. That sometimes happens, but usually they call, they say, "Do you have my size?" And then they will come and get it. So
Yeah, I saw you had some
otherwise,
beautiful pocket squares with like a hand drawing of you
yeah,
sitting at the table
yes,
drinking the. Those are beautifully made. I mean, those are
yes,
beautiful,
thank you.
and they're 100% silk or they're silk and wool
Silk,
mix.
100% silk.
100% silk,
They're made in Como,
not made in
where
Como.
the most of silk
Yeah, Lake
is
Como.
made and is designed. So
Yeah,
yes,
they need the water there, Lake Como, to make the nice
yes,
silk over
exactly.
there. So I see from your photographs that you
Yeah,
have a beautiful cabinets, all
yeah,
with the different books from all the different mills.
yeah. Yes,
And I'm
yes,
sure you have relationships with all of these mills.
yeah,
If you could pick your top three
yeah,
mills that you like, I'm sure you have customers who come in and say, "Look, just show me Loro Piana,
yeah,
or
exactly.
just show me Tali di Delfino, or whatever it
Yeah,
may be."
yeah.
But according to you, what would be if someone came into your shop and said, "Look, I want to get a suit, but I don't know anything about the mills. Which would be the top three mills you would go to? And which one is your favorite, regardless of the price point?"
Yeah. Regardless, I start with this always. I don't start with any brand. If there's a customer who says, "I'm a Loro Piana customer of ready wear and I love only the Loro Piana fabrics," of course, I'm gonna only show him what he likes to see, and that's a Loro Piana. But first of all, I'm gonna ask the function he wants to use his suit with, because it's very important to know that there are differences between the 150S from, I don't know, Loro Piana, Vitale Barberis. the doppio ritorto, because the 150S is a 2-ply and the Loro Piana is not a 2-ply. So I like watching the function of the customer, what he is going to do with the suit. If it's a spezzato, okay, the most beautiful spezzato jackets you can find is Loro Piana, Cerruti, and you have then Drapers that have the golden selection, or you have the Hopsack Monte Carlo. Then we have the 4 options. But the 3 options for me, without discriminating anybody else, I like for winter, I like Fox Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I like a lot Fox because they have a really nice fantasies in their fabrics. I like Loro Piana. I like Vitale Barberis. So with those 3, I work a lot. Sometimes I work also with Duckdales because they have also a lot of spectacular fabrics. And a little bit with Cerruti, but Cerruti in this time is difficult because they were bought by Piacenza. So they have not made any bunches, but they have also really nice designs. But it depends on what the customer wants to do, because if he wants to travel with the suits, I don't give him an 150S. If he wants to travel, I like a dry woven fabric like the Ascot or like the 2-4-ply. It depends on the seasonal. So I'm going to propose him first the functionality for his suit, that are the fabrics, and then we are going in the depth for the fantasies or the colors that he wants.
Yeah, Piacenza makes beautiful cashmere, especially for coats. They're known for the cashmere, and the cashmere is very well priced compared to some others.
The Piacenza and Colombo,
Colombo,
those are the 2 biggest cashmere makers in Italy.
Yeah,
For me,
I used to buy years ago cashmere coats from Erno, and they used the Colombo fabric.
Yeah. A lot.
It was very. I remember it had a removable beaver lining on the inside. We sold it in the stores many years ago.
It's also Loro Piana. Loro Piana makes also really good cashmere. I think
beautiful cashmere, but the price.
Yeah. It's
pay a premium for that label, Loro Piana. I remember years ago when people didn't know what Loro Piana was. They would say, "Oh, what is Loro Piana?" But now in America, everybody knows what it is.
You know that in 2013-14, they had a lousy website, if I may say that. But they didn't even you didn't find them on the internet. You have to really dig in Google to find them. So so maybe it was the beginning years of, I think it's what 12, 13, because the website was really not good. And I think everybody developed and had an evolution in the online business, of course, and the online visibility. So maybe it's normal 10 years ago, and now it's totally different. So
they realize they have to do it. They have no choice. So a lot of the business became, business to consumer as opposed to business to business. Even all the big brands. I mean, you could buy Gucci and Prada and Canali and Zegno. You could buy right from their websites. You don't have to go to a store. No, and that really probably hurt a lot of the smaller retailers who were selling them, the multi-branded stores, which I don't think really work anymore. You have a store with every brand in it. I don't think that type of business works so well. Department store is different.
I don't know. Maybe I follow you in that. I don't know. I never believed in the multi-brand stores, especially in this digital area where we are landed now. Because you find everything online, and you have also the information to find online. So I think also the customers they are finding a way, because they are coming directly for what they want. It's like tailoring, but in the ready to wear. So if you want to buy Loro Piana shoes, you're going to see you don't have a Loro Piana store here in Antwerp, but there are maybe 2 shops who have the Loro Piana shoes, and you go directly to them. So it's targeted, more targeted, I think. And
everything became a little more specialized.
Yes, specialized.
Everything became a little more specialized.
The thing is, you have a lot of customers who want to try on. So that's still, thank God for those shops, because you need those customers that want to try on maybe the jacket, they want to try on the turtleneck or something like that. So it depends on the customer. Like here in Belgium, I think the online shopping is getting better, but it's not like the other countries. So it's not like
here in America, online shopping is like
but also
who is not buying something on Amazon? I mean, if you go to a building in Manhattan and you see the UPS man who comes to make the delivery, every day is like a Christmas.
And
Christmas is like 10 times what it was with packages, and it's all Amazon boxes.
but it's crazy because our neighbors in Holland, so the Netherlands is
Yeah.
that our neighbors, they have a huge online business overall for the country
Hmm.
in Holland, out Holland. So they have a huge had a transformation. But Belgium has always been a lot behind on the digital platforms,
Right.
like on Instagram. Instagram exploded, I think, for my feelings or my opinions, I will say. Sorry for my English, but my opinion is that the Instagram, for example, in Belgium, exploded during the COVID or just before the COVID.
Oh, really?
Because before there was more Facebook than Instagram.
Right. But in Belgium, because in
Yeah.
Italy, a lot of the Italian
Oh,
companies, they were all on Instagram already.
there were, yes, we were on Instagram. Like I'm not feeling like being here in Belgium because I'm even in Italy and Belgium, but I was a lot in Italy, and the first PT I went was meanwhile almost 13 years ago.
Hmm.
Is the first PT I went, and I see that my Instagram was opened in 2011 or 12. I do not remember, but and nobody knew Instagram in
Really?
Belgium. Only the younger, there
Younger.
was a younger target that knew about Instagram, but you see that everybody was on Facebook, and I started it, but in Italy, Instagram was going sky high, and
Yes.
and Facebook was like local. I run at the beginning. I run ads on Facebook. I run them there because I targeted there. Then I stopped after 3 years. I stopped also of running those ads on Facebook because people would get in anyways because I have. If you see, I'm really consistent in posting all those
Yeah,
things.
that's important. The consistency is important.
Yeah, consistency in social media. But I had the interest of the international maybe targets from Instagram, and I had the locals from Facebook. So I had them both at that moment. But the Instagram, nobody. There was a younger target, like I said before, like 18, 20, 21 years old. They hopped into my shop. They bought a pocket square, and
Right.
because they followed PT, they followed Instagram, and they came sometimes. But like the real customers who are working, and then the target of my customers is 35 plus. Not the target. These are approximately is my customers are 30 plus,
Right.
so years plus. So those guys who are still going to university, they cannot buy a bespoke suit.
Of
So
course.
they bought a suit at our friend's suit supply. That helped me a lot because
Right.
after the suit supply, they're coming here. So because
Right.
once they can afford, they're coming here. So I think also it's best that with colleagues and all those tailors, it's best to be friends because
Yeah.
the customer chooses where he goes and where he can go, where he can afford to go. And afterwards, if you're doing a good job, he will come to you. If he will
Of
not come,
course.
there will be other ones. So like that suit supply helped me also a little
Yeah.
bit. So
Well,
that's
wherever you have it, wherever you have a location and there's people coming for the same thing, with
yeah,
Suit Supply. I'll tell
yeah,
you a funny story about Suit Supply. I told you I had that store on 59th and 3rd. In 2005, I opened that store in 2003. So in 2005, someone comes into my store, young guy, and he
yeah.
says, "Oh, I like your things. They look very good. Where do you buy your clothes? In Suit Supply?" He's asking
Really
me if I'm buying my clothing for my store from Suit Supply. And I had
crazy.
never heard of Suit Supply. It was 2005.
Yeah.
I said, no, I don't. I said, it's all made in Italy and I design it myself and it's my own label and this and that.
Okay.
I said, I never heard of Suit Supply. What is it? He says, oh, let me show you. So he went on the computer in the store. He showed me the website. And as
Yeah.
soon as
Yeah.
I saw it,
Yeah.
I said, you want to know something? They will be in New York very soon.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
did. And they have a couple of big stores in New York already for already many years.
But they have a lot of stores. They have a good marketing. They are very smart in what they're doing because I remember maybe 2013, 14 PT Woman. We started to make in the tailoring world already exists. We brought more the higher pants again. The higher pants we showcased them, if I can call it like that. And the thing of Suit Supply is they're really good of taking those ideas and bringing it in their own collection every year. So they go to PT, they watch a little bit what's around, and they
Oh,
will
yeah. They're
bring
just
collect.
copying.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just They're just copying, but they do it in their own way because they have those slim fits, too short, too slim pants, too tight pants. So they bring it in their own way, but that's okay. There is room for everybody, and everybody does what he wants and has.
And they know their customer. They know their customer.
Yes, they know their customer. Probably their customer wants only that, and important for them is to sell 10,000 pants and not to sell 100 pants. So,
and they're using the Italian mills and the Italian fabric. They make it in China, but look, even in China, they have all the machines and all the computers and all the everything that they need to make everything, computers and clothing and whatever it is. They have everything there. So, they just use it for the mass production.
They're smart. Like I said, they use Italian fabrics, and it was confusing in the past, because in the past the people didn't know the difference. Now they have a lot of information, not through me, but through the internet, through the Instagram, maybe educational videos, that because I'm not the only one who's doing it. There is a lot of people who are doing this.
Sure, yes.
And the people, they know already full canvas, half canvas. They know.
Oh, they know. Yeah.
So before they didn't know. Now
they didn't know. Yeah.
They didn't know what's bespoke tailoring, what's made to measure. For example, I explained again last week in my Have a Nice Suit. So people get more and well informed, and then it's to them to choose it, because you have the Suit Supply, you have Zegna, you have Brioni, you have a lot of options. Then the customer will decide where he wants to go. The thing I miss in the early or maybe of the better years of the journalistic, because I don't see any more the journalists, it's called in English, I don't see a lot of them writing anymore. Before there was a lot who wrote about tailor houses, about fabric, but now maybe also on Last Pity, I didn't saw a lot of journalists who were interested in I don't know, I didn't saw them, I think, because before there was a bunch of them, and you will get maybe the interviews, or you see somebody is getting interviewed for some magazine or something. But I think that there is a little bit of change or transformation, that it went to, I don't know, the street style, and the tailoring is not maybe interesting enough anymore, and they took another option to
Well, I agree with you about Pitti, and it happened quite a few years ago, because when I was going to Pitti, especially years past with my father, we went there to buy things. We had stores. We were looking for new companies, small companies, and we were going there to place orders to bring back to the United States.
Exactly. That's what
what it became like, what can you wear in the front of the Centrale to have your photo taken and get on Instagram? I mean, so many people now go to Pitti who really are not doing any business there. They're just there to stand there and take a photo with the hat and the scarf and the coat on their shoulders. And it really bothered me when I saw that. When I'm going back to 2012, it was even like that.
2012 was that was the beginning of maybe those PTs with the showcase things at PT, but it was not a real PT anymore. Maybe we're getting back to the real PT, because the last PT wasn't bad. The only thing was that a lot of brands were not there also. That there was a Padiglione Centrale, but there was a lot of clothes. I think maybe 800 brands were there, or 1,000 brands. Usually it is 3,000 brands. So that's
from what I've heard, a lot of people going to Pitti and they're looking around, and then right after Pitti they go to Milan. And they go to the showroom, direct, and that's where they're doing the business.
Yes. I think there is a lot of brands that took a showroom in Milano. They don't do it twice a year at Pitti, but they are 365 days long in Milano, and they take orders all year long. I think they modified their way of working. So maybe I saw also not a lot of Italiano Classico, for example. Pitti was known for Italian classic menswear.
Yes.
I was missing that this Pitti. For us, it's always nice to see some colleagues, and we talk, and we are going to Gilly, and we are. That's a nice thing.
Going to Gilly.
After the PT, you're having some drinks. You're going to eat. And you
Jilly is the big cafe. For those who don't know,
yes,
Jilly is the
yeah,
cafe with the outdoor seats, and you sit
yes.
outside and
That's
in the big
that's
square.
in the big square. That's like a tradizione for us
Yes.
there. And if we see with colleagues, we come there and we talk about how is this PT? How do you like it? What's changed? What's not changed? And this time it was really there are a lot of non-Italian brands. For me, I think yeah, it's good that there are non-Italian brands, but I think the essence of PT is still classico Italiano, men's Italian classic menswear. That's where PT was born with.
Of course, yes.
So, and that's I was missing a lot at the PT, and I hope it will get back, but I don't know. It's strange times
Yeah.
maybe so.
So do you feel that your Instagram exposure, now you have like last I looked, you had like 137,000
Yes,
followers on Instagram. Do you feel from the time you started Instagram that your customer base has gotten a little younger? Because what I have found that, a lot of people talk, whether it's online or just in general circles, that they feel that,
yeah,
who's wearing a suit anymore? Nobody wears suits anymore. No one wears a tie anymore. Everything is
not
casual.
true. Yeah, it's
Not
not.
true, right? I agree with you. Not true.
Yeah.
And I found my own personal experience is that the demographic has gotten younger. The
Yeah,
younger guys have gotten more involved in how it's made, like you said, canvas or half canvas or fusing, and how the fusing is done. Even with shoes, is it Goodyear? Is it Blake?
yes,
Or what kind of welting on the shoe? They got
yes,
very involved in all the details. And I think
yes,
it was the internet that leveled the playing field.
yes,
The internet,
yes,
everybody came the same because everybody had the same information.
yes.
So
Yeah.
do you feel like your customer base has gotten a little younger because of that?
Yes, they definitely get a little bit younger because before I had the customer base was I don't say old, but they were 45 plus maybe. And if I do an average age, it's maybe 50 plus and maybe 60 plus. I still have them, but I see that there is a younger generation who has more interest and is coming to make a suit. They are not buying maybe four suits at I don't know any shop, but they're willing to buy one quality suit. So I see that there is also an awareness for quality
Mm-hmm.
because they find some information, and if you are interested in the information of maybe it's a 5-fold tie, it's a 3-fold, and there is a canvas at the inside, or it's totally in line the tie or a cashmere tie. If you have the information, you're gonna make your personal selection of all. It's like you're maybe selecting watches, you're selecting your car, you're
It's the same
selecting
thing. It's the
same
same thing.
same thing. You're selecting your restaurant. You go and eat only quality. You pay a little bit more. Maybe you say, okay, not everybody has the same budget. Let's start from that. But if you say, I'm going to do once a week in a nice restaurant that I know what I eat, and I'm not going 5 times to McDonald's, that makes sense, I think. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. You go one time, you enjoy it, you enjoy the quality meat, you enjoy the lifestyle of it. And I think it brings also a better mindset because you see other people around you, you will have a better feeling. You never know who you're bumping into because that's also maybe important. uh, and I think there are things that are all glued together, like the cars, the watches, the restaurants, maybe the vacations you're doing, the suits you're wearing, the clothes in general you're wearing.
I think people better understand why something
Yeah,
is one, like if they go to Suit Supply, why is
yeah,
that suit $600?
exactly.
And if
Yeah,
they go to me or they go to you and they're buying something that's made to measure or bespoke,
yeah,
why do I have to pay
exactly.
1,500 or 2,000 or
Yeah,
2,500? They understand the difference. Just like someone says, "Oh, well, my Timex, I know what time it is. I have a Timex. Why do I have to spend 25,000 on a Rolex?"
yeah,
Well, of course they both tell time, but there's a
yeah.
reason why
There's a
one is
reason.
one way
Exactly,
and one is the
exactly,
other way. And maybe years ago, maybe some people didn't care or they didn't want to care, but now they have they have the information at their fingertips as soon as they
exactly.
want. Look, if you want to buy a new computer, the first thing you do, oh, I go on YouTube, let me watch 10 reviews
Yes, yes,
on that
exactly.
computer. This guy bought it, that guy bought it. What does he say? What does he say? And then you
Yeah,
can make your own,
exactly.
decision about
But
it.
but like you say, it's like the Timex, okay, and the Rolex, okay, but it's totally different. These are two totally different products. So
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with the Timex. There's
Look,
nothing wrong with
I used to have a
the watch.
customer who
Yeah,
I still know for many
yeah,
years. We're friends, and he's the
yeah,
head of a very big real estate firm
yeah,
here in New York. And when he used to come into the stores, always
yeah.
buy a shirt and a tie. He used to come in
Okay.
and say, "What did I do? I was getting dressed in the dark. What did I do?"
Yeah.
He said, "Philip, pick me a new shirt and a new tie." So I used to pick
Yeah,
him a new shirt and a new tie. And the price, he didn't care so much. The shirt could be $400 or
yeah,
$500. The tie could be $150. No
yeah.
problem. But for me to
Okay.
sell him a suit
Yeah.
above above $1,000, absolutely no, not will
When
not buy it. Will
okay.
not buy it. I
Yes.
had in my basement all his shirts that he took off and left it in the
Yeah.
store because he
Yeah.
didn't like the combination. He would walk out
Yeah.
with the new one, right?
Yeah.
And I would have 15, 20 shirts of his in the basement. And eventually he would say, I don't want those. You can get rid of it. But to sell him a
It's
suit
crazy.
more
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
$1,000, during
Yeah.
the sale, he would come
Yeah.
buy a suit on sale, which is fine. You have people who
Yeah.
need to buy on
Yeah.
sale and people who buy regular price.
Yeah.
But to spend 700 on a shirt and a
Yeah.
tie was okay. But to spend 1,500
Yeah.
on a suit, no, wouldn't do it.
No. Yeah, but I think it's a mental game because yeah, I know what you're saying because I have some customers who only buy maybe shirts here also. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And who buy only pants. So it's the same thing. And
Right. Right.
but if you I'm from the opinion and everybody does what he wants because I'm a guy who says I'm minding only my own business. Everybody can do what he wants to do.
Of course.
Respect for everybody, problem. But I'm one who says maybe if I'm buying three of those maybe lousy dinners, maybe I'm going to eat one time, but I'm gonna eat my T-bone like I want to eat them.
Right.
So I
Right.
will enjoy it also more. I think that's also maybe a part of educational lifestyle you have to get to. So
Yes. So in your business, since you're in Europe and I'm in America, and I'm sure you
yeah,
deal with a lot. Being, I guess, in Belgium, the EU is based in Brussels. You might have a lot of people
yes,
who are
exactly.
involved in the EU, in the government of the
Yes.
EU.
Mhm.
What are they buying in terms of different the models, the modelos? Are they buying two-button
Yeah,
single-breasted, double-breasted, peak
yeah.
lapel
You
single-breasted?
know
What do
that a
you
lot of
see?
people don't care of those guys who have a high function and they don't care that
Mhm.
I really have to educate them in a lot of things and the same thing for shoes. We talked about shoes before, but they are buying a bespoke suit, maybe two, three bespoke suits in the gray and the blue and maybe another color, and they have some lousy Mephisto. You know the
Yeah,
brand
Mephisto,
Mephisto?
of course, absolutely.
They're so crazy. They
Yeah,
buy some, and
but
they are wearing.
they have a reputation
Yeah,
of making a very comfortable. Not, I'm
yeah,
not saying the design. I'm saying the comfort. People who
yeah.
buy that shoe, they love the comfort, and it's not inexpensive. It's four
No,
or
no,
five
no.
hundred dollars for a pair.
Yeah, yeah, but they are horrible,
Yeah,
horrible. It's like
the look
drugs.
of it.
You
It
see
looks
the
like an
look of it.
orthopedic, like
Yeah,
orthopedic shoes.
yeah. I don't wanna discredit the Mephisto, but everybody buys one. But for a bespoke suit, you cannot wear them. So for
Yeah,
me,
right.
you have another brand here. I'm not gonna name brands because otherwise they're gonna sue me maybe in the future. But there are brands who use maybe like, for my opinion, the blue laces and the cognac color shoes.
Right.
Like I see a lot here in Belgium, and if there are Belgian guys listening, they know it of me. Please don't wear a bright blue suit with the cognac shoes and the cognac belt and the blue laces. Please don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
So buy one pair.
Or they make a buttonhole a different color
Oh
or
no, please don't do it. They make different buttonholes. So if you're listening, that's said by this one.
right.
So no, like yeah, you have to educate a lot of those people. They're usually they wear gray, dark gray,
Yeah.
medium gray, blue, different shades of blue. That's the thing. But you have a lot of people that I have to say and admit they have owned the style from their grandfathers and fathers have really, they come from families that are like traditional, dressed well.
So if they're wearing double-breasted and they saw the father with the double-breasted, they're
Yeah.
staying with the 6-on-2
Yes.
double-breasted. I
Yes.
love double-breasted
Yes.
myself. I used to wear it
Yeah.
only years ago. Then it was
Yeah.
3-button only. But
Yeah.
really now I only sell 2-button single-breasted classic with side vents and flat front.
Oh, really?
Nobody is asking me to make a double-breasted suit.
Oh no,
I
we're
made myself one
selling a
this
lot.
year. But
Yeah.
I made for myself one this year.
You
But
should wear them more yourself, and they will see it on you, because they forgot about double-breasted.
yeah,
When I was here, I think 13 years ago, at the beginning of the business here, I saw a lot of people who watched me, but double-breasted, isn't that something for old guys? Because the mayors here
yeah,
wore a double-breasted, what was with padded shoulders, too large, too long sleeves, too long
sure.
suit. They didn't know the real double-breasted,
Yeah.
like L'Avvocato Agnelli, for example. He wore it really well, the double-breasted. So they had only this vision of the mayors that wore a double-breasted, that yeah, better not see it, because then you will say, no, double-breasted, it's something for old guys, but
Yeah,
it's
I
not
like
something.
it. I love the way it looks. I love the peak
Yeah, it's
lapel.
powerful. It's powerful.
Yeah, I made suits, years recently and years ago, 2-button peak because I like peak lapel.
Yeah, it's nice, nice.
This is a new one I made this year, the Super 120 flannel.
I think on this suit, it's better with a notch level for me, for
Oh,
my
this is yeah.
with notch
Stripes,
level.
I see notch
You
lapel
have,
with
you have
stripes.
like the Tom Ford. He's doing a lot the peak lapel, because he wants to,
Everything,
like
everything.
his brand, how you said, his brand logo
That's his
is
signature. His signature.
signature. Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the
You look
word.
at any celebrity,
Yeah,
like
you will see the
any
peak
award
lapel.
show,
They will have the
you
peak
see that
lapel on the
2-button peak
single.
lapel
Yes,
with the
or
ticket
maybe also the
pocket.
one button. They do
Yeah.
also the one button peak lapel. So, but me, I'm a lot. I love the Italian classic wear, like the single-breasted. For me personally, has to be with an, especially if it's a jacket, sports jacket, or maybe a blazer. It's like 3-year-old too, with a notch. For the double-breasted, if of course it's only peak labeled
Only peak.
double-breasted, because you see now those double-breasteds coming out with a notch label,
No,
which I like,
that's
which I
wrong.
like, but it's personal. But if I see in the history of the classic Italian, it's always been like this. So, or it's double-breasted with a peak, or it's 2.5 button, or maybe 3 button with a notch lapel. So
Right.
these are my standards. I like to keep if someone getting here. But if someone asks, oh no, I want a single breast with peak lapel, be my guest, I will make it, no problem.
Right.
Usually they are customers who love Tom Ford suits and buy Tom Ford suits, and they make the peak lapel because I like it. So then we do it. It's no problem.
Right.
If they
But the price of his suit is really astronomical. I mean, it's
I didn't know
six,
how
7,000 a suit here in New York.
Ready to wear.
Yeah, off the rack.
Off the rack, yes, ready to wear. So the MTM is getting much higher then.
Must be 10,000 already MTM. But
I think.
he's in with all the celebrities, so they where they go to Tom Ford. I don't know if they pay for the suits or he gives a lot of suits. I don't know.
Maybe there's a lot of sponsoring also.
Yeah, a lot of sponsoring, but they have in their mind, well, Tom Ford, nice designer. He brought Gucci back.
Yeah.
It's always going to be made in Italy. Let me just go to Tom Ford.
He sold the business, if I remember well, for $2.9 billion.
Yeah, 3 billion or something.
3 billion to Estee Lauder, I think.
Yeah,
so,
2 or 3 billion. Look, that's what happens also with Brioni. They sold. It's owned by the French. Own most of the big between Richemont and LVMH and Kering.
Yeah, LVMH as Loro Piana, of course, as bought Loro Piana, Moët Chandon, Louis Vuitton. So they have a lot of.
They own all the big brands, all the big brands these days.
I think it's good that they did it. Like Arnaud did a good thing, because a lot of things he rebranded it really good. Like the Loro Piana, he did a good work. But
and they bought Tiffany. They bought Tiffany and Company.
Tiffany also, exactly. Tiffany also. So
they're renovating the store right now on 57th and Fifth Avenue. They're renovating it for a long time.
Yes. That's
it needed a renovation.
How also the Tiffany exploded. Really, it was an explosion of of a success. Those Tiffany with the color on the watches. You see
Yeah, the
also let's
Tiffany
get back
color.
on the watches. You go back on the Patek Philippe that has the
I
Tiffany that's
know.
possible to get. So it's same
I
watch, only
remember going to the Tiffany store and they have the Patek counter and all the watches say Tiffany right in there. But I'm talking
yeah,
years ago.
yeah, it's crazy. So I think it's a good thing that this Sir Arnaud does with all those brands. He's making it also more luxury than it was before. So I'm thinking he's doing a good job on that. So we will see in the future what will happen.
Yeah, yeah. So do you feel, because from what I see is that there
Yeah,
is more double-breasted,
yeah.
especially in Italy now? Is it something that's new that's
It's
starting to
always no, it's
always
always been
been?
there. It's always been there. But I think a lot of people say, "Oh, but it's an Italian to wear it. It's an Italian. He can wear it." But it's
Right.
not like if you're not willing to wear it, you will never wear it. So, but we Italian have, especially in the 40 plus age, they always kept wearing the double breasted
Mhm.
in every time, or it was 2099, like in the 60s, 70s, they were always wearing those double breasted also, and it's nothing new for them. It's like the morning coat in England. It's still
Yeah,
they're
they
still
use the morning coat.
yeah,
Yeah.
they use the morning coat to go to the weddings and to go to
Yeah.
Royal Ascot, and in the Italian tailoring, you will see the guy who is really into tailoring. He has always double breasted in his wardrobe, but the wardrobe of the right Italian, because Francesco Barberis he says always to me, the right Italian, he never wears a white shirt during the day. He wears
Uh-huh.
only a light blue. He
Light
says
blue.
light blue. The socks also, you have to wear the blue socks, and so he gives me a lot of inspiration because he's a really great guy.
Mm.
And he now I was losing what I was saying.
We were talking about the
Yeah,
double-breasted.
double breasted, and the Italian guy who has a really nice dressing or wardrobe, you will see that he has this wardrobe for a long time, because usually an Italian guy spends more money to quality stuff.
Right.
Um, maybe a stupid example is for you will see in Italy I think you will see the most wearing watch that they're wearing there is the Submariner
For the
watch.
submarine.
Submarine. And you will see that was before the old one. I remembered it was like in dollars, it should be like a $3,000 in those years.
Mhm.
There was a watch who was bought to the son, if it was possible, as his 18 years old, or maybe
Right.
his degree or something. And you will see it. So they prefer, not only for the rich families I'm talking, maybe they waited to buy them, and
Yeah.
they then after a time they had the money and they buy the watch, but they prefer spending something on quality
Quality.
than spending on some, maybe I don't know what other item that is not quality. So you see in the Italian way of thinking, not all of Italians, I'm not but you see that it's a thing that goes way back, and you will see that they prefer buying something that's quality. You have a lot of Italians that buy brands. That's also remained like that. They buy brands. You see also a lot of Italians know more of brands like clothing. If I see in Belgium, there is a lot of work to do on this,
Right.
because in Italy they are more informed. Like when Moncler, the coats, the ski jackets,
Yeah, of course.
they were in Italy. It was already 5 years that they were wearing that like casual wear.
Yeah.
Here, the first shop went open after 5 years in Italy. Everybody was already wearing
Right.
Moncler. After 5 years, they go open here. So there
Well, I
is
know in Italy everything starts there quite a few years before, even before New York.
yeah,
It's there first.
this their
Starting there
first
first.
is their first, and maybe I heard a nice, or I saw a nice video of a sir who wrote a book, and he's a magistrato, so he's not into clothing. But he says we have the best country in the world for
Mhm.
food, for design, for clothes, like Pininfarina designed the
Yeah.
cars.
Cars. Yeah.
Like clothing, we have one of the best tailors in Italy. We have the best designers in Italy, like Giorgio Armani. We have a lot of good. I don't say that there are any more, but we have a lot of good designers. We have a lot of good things in Italy, but we don't use it right.
Right.
That's what he's saying. We can do so much more.
Yeah.
We don't do it. We only live off tourism.
Right.
Like the world has to come to us,
Yeah.
then they spend, and then they go back home. But
Yeah.
Italy is a lot more than only that. Italy, you have to understand, because it's a sort of lifestyle that everybody gets in love with. If you're not for
I
it,
I
okay, then
remember all the shops used to close for lunch.
yes, they close for lunch,
You're on
like
the street,
1
and
o'clock,
by
4 p.m.
1 o'clock,
1 p.m., 4 p.m.
they're
Yeah.
closed. When are you
Yes.
reopening? I'll come back in 3 hours.
Yes, yes, of
You're
course.
going
That's
for
they
lunch.
go for a lunch. They maybe in the summer
Yeah.
do a nap,
I
and so
don't think they
everybody.
do it much anymore, but they used to do it. Every
No,
store
they
was
do it in
closed.
the south. They still do it. They
South, they
still
still do it.
Yeah, yeah, they still do it in the south. So we have a lot of potential in Italy, a lot of potential, but we have to get back on the rails, in my
Yeah.
opinion, there, because the mentality, not all, because I don't want to accuse, or I said it's a great country, but there has to change a lot to get in the right direction, because I think we have the wines, we have, like I said, the cars, we have Pininfarina. That's one
Yeah.
designer, of course, but
Of course.
we have a lot more successful people. We have a lot of story, and not only tailoring, but only the big designers like Giorgio, like Versace, that has become really successful also in the US,
Of
for
course.
example.
Yeah.
But we have a lot more of that, and lately there is not any more to be continued, like I see it there.
Right. Who's the next? What's the next
Who's the
thing
next? Who's next? What's
that's
the next?
coming?
Because they have to come the next.
Right.
They have to. They will come also the next.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's
Versace was really a very big brand phenomenon that just
yes,
took over
yes,
every type of thing, even the casa
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah. I see still um, at related families, or they have in their house or in their bathroom of 20 years ago, 30
Yeah.
years ago, they have those the logo of Versace, and then the Medusa, but they have those strange
Oh, the Greek key.
yeah,
The Greek
yes,
key.
exactly, the Greek key.
Yeah.
With then you have, and they have them in the bedroom, it's something that
Right.
remains. So if you see that, it's funny, and then it's still less, and it's
Mm.
still recognizable. So
Yeah.
um
I used to have a bathrobe, the Versace bathrobe. It said on the back Versace, big letter. They gave it to me as a gift, but it had the Versace and the letters on the back with
Yeah, and
with the
then the Medusa
Medusa
there.
head.
Yeah. I had a tie, I think, in the
Hmm.
late 90s with the Medusa on. So it was a light blue tie with the Medusa here, and everybody recognized the Medusa. I had a lousy suit in that times, but I was only 18 years old, but I had a really
Right.
nice tie of the Versace, and
So
but
so
yeah.
the business that you're in, you started this yourself. This wasn't a family
Yes.
business.
No, it wasn't the family business. So that's maybe for me where it gets interesting. I chose really the hard way, because nobody believed in me, but that's usually like that. But I don't care, because I'm a man who's always traveled alone. I like being alone.
Mhm.
I have my ideas, and maybe if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I go wrong, that's like it. But I have to try first. Nobody
Right.
believed in me, and I was starting my goal was the bespoke tailoring. They say, "Oh, you're not a tailor. You can make it. You can do. You can say so." Okay, I worked with a tailor
Because
in Puglia.
just to clarify, you're in Belgium, but you're making all the clothing in Italy.
Exactly. And that's where it gets really interesting, because I worked with a tailor more than 13 years ago. 14 years, he made my suits.
Mhm.
So I went there for my suits. He made my suits, and like I wanted it. And okay, it's really hard to get to a tailor to make it like you wanted, but okay, that's another discussion. I was there after 2 years. I was starting already my business, and after 2 years, I have already started my business. He goes with retirement. He was
Oh,
already okay. He says, Massimo, I cannot do it, nothing anymore. I say, oh, and what I'm going to do now? Yeah, Massimo, there are two options. Massimo, you do, or you would take all this and you bring it, you make it for you. You take all the employees and you make them work for you.
mm.
At those time it were, I think, 12 or 14. I don't remember well how much it was. Or you choose another tailor, and you have to start from scratch, and you choose someone else who can follow you up and who makes your suits. I say, oh, this is really not easy for me because it was the beginning. So
Right.
I had already invested much. So for the little I had, and then I jumped. After 2 months of thinking, I said I cannot go on and think again for months and weeks. I said, okay, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna take only 6 people. I cannot take all because I cannot carry all the people in the amount of suits
Right.
we
Of
make.
course, you were
So
just starting out.
I was just starting out, and like the word to mouth, it's not very easy. There was no such a booming like Instagram in that time, or it was the beginning of all. And then we went and did this, and little by little we worked and worked more, and we are still here after 12 years with the same 6 people
Wow,
that two are
nice.
going to retire unfortunately this year,
Right.
end of this year, and we are making a new lab, sartoria there, a new lab in Puglia that we are making now, and it should be ready. I think in June, July should be already. And we have a customer area where we can receive the customer. It's like a private area. It's near Lecce. It's between Lecce and the Ionic Sea. So it's called Carmiano. It's a small town, and there we can receive also customers, and we can do a fitting. We can do the alterations, and we can do a second fitting, for example. We'll go out for so that's it. And there we will rejuvenate, hopefully, our new team and go to 8 persons, because end of the year we're gonna go for a small time to 4 persons. And I'm sure we have to go to 8 persons to be more safe and can carry the amount of production suits that we make. So
Right. So are you the only one who's actually seeing the customers and fitting the customers, or all
yes,
the other people are doing it too?
no, I'm the only one who's doing it. So
Ah,
yes, I'm the
so
only
you're
one who.
interacting with all the customers and they're contacting you and you're keeping
Yes,
in touch with
exactly.
them and you say, oh, your suit's going to be ready in a few weeks.
Yes,
Make an
yes,
appointment to
exactly.
come back for another fitting.
Yeah, it's something I tried before working with a nice right hand, but it didn't work out. 2 times it didn't work out. A lot of frustration for the guys because the customer comes in and he asks me, "Where is Massimo?" Okay, oh, he's coming back tomorrow. Oh, then I
I'll
will
come
come.
back.
Yeah, I will make an appointment with him.
Right.
That's a little bit also the difficulty that I'm finding with, because the customer will rely only on me and trusts only me. So that's my like advantage and
Of
disadvantage,
course.
both at the
Yes.
same time.
Right.
Both at the same time. So but I'm happily. I think um we are making at this moment a lot of suits every year. We usually deliver the suits in 6 weeks with the fittings in between. That's not possible anymore because we already are at 2 months, 2 months and a half at this
Ah,
moment.
right.
You know that the big houses like Cifonelli, Liverano, Caraceni, those deliver, I think, in 1 year at this
Wow.
moment. Yeah, I think it's 1 year delivery time, and it's
Wow.
much more.
I didn't know that.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah. The big houses, they deliver after 1 year. A lot of them, unless there is something changed. But the
You think
normal.
COVID had something to do with that, with the
No, no,
availability
no.
of
That's before
fabrics or
also.
shipping or
It's
no?
no, it's the same thing before, and you know why? Now it's more clear also for me. That's how I think. If you're getting your work now for next year, you can organize how many people you need,
Yeah.
and you already know I need maybe 40 people because I have to make I don't know, 600 suits. So
Yeah.
I need 40 people, and I'm sure with those 40 people I can make it. So you organize better.
Right.
Um,
You have the bookings in advance, so they know already what's going to happen.
exactly. For us, if we don't know what's going to happen, uh, until now we didn't experience that. But if you have maybe, I don't know, of less work, you have to send 2 people home maybe. So
Right.
that's not going to happen to them because they have a commission for sure those suits for a year.
Yeah.
So for the other side, we are now delivering in 2 months and a half. We are not delivering anymore in 6 weeks. So
Right.
because it's become impossible. So the option is, or we are going to get 4 more tailors, or we keep the same and we have the 2 months, 2 months and a half of
Right.
delivery.
Right.
What works better for us, because the customers, we work a lot with loyal customers. 90% is loyal
So they don't
customers.
mind waiting.
They don't, and they know that they have to come. Unless there is an exception, you have to make a pants. that is maybe a customer has a problem with the pants, and I make an exception. Okay, maybe in a few weeks I will make it then,
Right.
and keep him smiling. So that we will do it at the moment, see how we can resolve it. But
Of course.
yeah, it's
So
that.
yeah, so you feel that in terms of what you're selling in terms of
Yeah.
suits versus jackets, you seeing more people dressing more formally, or they want to rather have a sport jacket and a pair of pants where they could use a shirt and a
Yeah,
tie or a
it's
turtleneck or
50-50. It's
50-50.
50-50.
Hmm.
It's 50-50 those days, because when they see me wearing a suit and they're wearing like a sport jacket and a nice pants and a tie, they say, I really need more suits.
Ah,
They When they're coming in a suit and they see you in a spezzato, like a jacket
right,
and like today, they say, I really need more jackets.
right,
So they're not always aware of like what they need. They're not always aware what
right.
they need.
But when they see it on you and it looks so
Yeah,
good,
when they
then they
see it,
think, "Oh,
or you give them inspiration. I think we are selling suits, so we have to be a little bit also inspirational to the
of
customer. We
course."
can to be, because if we're not inspirational,
Yeah.
where they're gonna get their inspirations?
I made this year as a sample for my, I make
Yeah,
all the samples in my own
yeah,
size so I could
yeah,
wear
of
it and
course.
the customer sees
Of
me
course.
wearing it. I made, would you have one very similar, the double-breasted polo coat?
Oh yeah, yeah. We make a lot of them.
Yeah. So I made it, I haven't made it in many years, but I made it this year in 100% alpaca
Nice, with
because
a
I
longer
love the
hair.
alpaca. I love
Yeah.
the hairy finish on the
Yes.
alpaca.
Yes.
I had it from Canali in the store so many years ago with the belt. And we sold it in green and
Yeah.
cognac and navy blue, so many.
Yes.
So I made one. And
Yes.
when I know what customer I'm going to go to, I wore that coat.
Yeah.
And when they see that coat on me, they say,
Yeah.
"What is that coat?" And I said, "This is a beautiful polo coat. Look how it's made." And I showed them the lining and the buttons and
Yeah.
the cuff on the sleeve and the collar.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
go, you got to make me that coat."
Yeah, because they forgot about the code, or they
That's right.
didn't know about it existing, or they
That's right.
forgot about the code, and then you will
That's right.
sell it. So,
So I'm going to tell you,
yeah.
years ago, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was like 1983 or 82. I was with my father at
Yeah.
Milachon.
Yeah.
You remember Milachon?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Milachon. So they made him a wrap coat, no buttons, single
No buttons.
breasted wrap
Okay.
coat. There's no buttons.
Yeah.
It's just a
Yeah.
belt,
Yeah. Yeah.
single breasted with the
Yeah.
little Balmacan
Yeah.
collar.
Nice.
I'm going to
Nice.
make that coat, just a wrap, no
Nice.
buttons,
Nice.
just a
Yes.
sample. And if I
Yeah.
wear it in front of a few people, see what
They will buy
happens.
it. Oh, we are making those Ulster coats, the polo coats for a lot of years. They know me because we use a lot of more like say colorful and more
Yeah.
risky fabrics of exposure.
Right,
We
right.
make it with a
What's the
wool.
fabric they're showing a lot now? I personally don't like it. It's like a boiled wool, but it has a name to it. Castel something.
The Casentino. No, I don't
Casentino.
like. The
Casentino.
Casentino is a wool they made for
Yeah.
keeping warm the horses in Toscania.
Yeah. Casentino.
Yes, Casentino, and then they made it like a fabric. I had someone, but no. The original one is the orange one with the
The
fur.
orange. Yeah.
Yeah, with the fur on the collar. So that's
Yeah.
so for next year we are planning to make a new coat. We are making some prototypes. Also, the kind of thing you said with the raglan shoulder, but
Raglan.
with the belt. Yeah, but with a belt, the same color as the polo coat,
Uh-huh.
and double breasted, and to close up with a belt
With a
also,
belt.
clean at the backside, and
Uh-huh.
one split down. We are
Right.
trying to make some samples to do like a large herringbone. That's also a coat that is forgotten. That is
Yeah.
it's a coat that people wore a lot in the 60s, I think.
Yeah. Look, everything in this business is
Afterwards.
cyclical. Everything comes
Yes,
back.
100%.
Everything comes back. Do you
Yes.
feel that the clothing is going to start to get more wide, more
Yes,
looser?
this,
The
but
pants more
this I do
wider.
already 4 or 5 years ago. I fall also into the trap of wearing too tight bottom pants,
Yeah.
but it's only one season, I think, and then I didn't do it anymore. But yeah, it's getting more wider. I don't say wide because I'm convinced that a modern fit
Yep.
that's something timeless. So it doesn't have to be not short, and not to fit it. So it has to get a nice drape. It depends on the height, on how many your bottom of your pants has to be. But
Right.
if you're I speak in centimeters, 190. You don't have to go to 80 centimeters because you don't get your foot through, and it will be too ridiculous small at the bottom. So yeah, but everything is getting larger. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, that's for sure. But it's already going on for 4 years, I think.
Yeah. So not, I mean, here it's still, I mean, the customers that obviously we sell to want to look like the clothing
Yeah.
fits properly, that it's not too tight, but they
Yeah.
want to look tailored. They
Yeah.
don't want it to be baggy, like they feel like they're wearing their
Oh,
suit from their father. But the trend seems to be, especially what I've seen in
mhm.
Italy, a little bit towards getting a slightly wider silhouette, a little bit from,
Yeah, a little
especially
bit
in the pants.
in the pants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the pants, it's a little bit wider. That's for sure. But
Yeah.
I
And
think
pleats,
we
are you
back.
making any pleated pants at all for people with pleats, or all flat?
No, a lot of people flat, and it depends because you cannot wear, if you have a belly, you cannot always wear the pleats.
Right.
So
It
you
used
have
to be the opposite. The big guy
yeah.
wanted the pleats because he
Yeah,
wanted more
and you know
space.
why? And you know why? Because before the pants, they were wearing them on the belly, and then you
Yeah.
can make pleats. If they're wearing them under the belly, it's much more complicated to make them because they will get open every time the
Right.
pleats, and
Yeah.
that's a little bit
And
what
the crotch gets too long when they wear it below the belly.
exactly. Exactly. They have to wear it on the belly,
Right.
and then you can make the pleats, and they will have a lot of space of it because it's a comforting. A lot of people wear it because it's nice, but it's comfortable. So the pleats, it's
Right.
something you wear it when you're in the car, in the plane, in the taxi. You will be more comfortable seating because you will have a lot of more space on your hips, and
Mhm.
your upper legs automatically will have more space.
So your favorite fabrics to wear for everyday wear for a suit?
It's difficult to say, but with
Super
an everyday
120, Super
person,
150.
no, I'm gonna say honestly, I like the Vitale Barberis.
Yeah.
It's the Drapers Blazon. The Blazon and the Arrival, for all they use, I find it a really nice suit. But
Mm.
I don't advise to wearing them all day because if you have suits, you have to wear them 1 day a week, and you have to have a roulage in
Yeah,
your
you have to
clothes
change.
that you change. But that's a nice suit that is consistent and as a nice drape, and it's worked real well. Otherwise, you have the dry woven and you have the ascot 2 and 4 ply. Also, one of my favorite for all day suits, for
Nice,
sure.
nice. And where do you see for your two things? Where do you see the clothing business going where you are in
Yeah,
Antwerp? And where
yeah.
do you see men's fashion as a whole, where it could be going in the next, few years? Is it going to get more conservative, more dressy, or is it going to go like we had in the late 90s where everything became very sporty? Suits were not so popular.
I think it's gonna be classy sporty, but with the option on the classic one.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm gonna think. And I think that also the suits you're wearing and the sports jackets you have, that the customer or the client or whoever, he is gonna automatically bring the same style in his free time, where he maybe now wears Balenciaga or I don't know which other brand of Philippe Plein. He is gonna be aware that maybe in his free time he can wear like classy but not too formal. And with that goes like the jeans. The jeans, no, I'm not gonna do a slim fit jeans. Which jeans I'm gonna wear? So I think that is total. The classic is never gonna die. That's I'm sure. The classic will be the classic for sure. But I think if they are gonna expand their closet, it's gonna be based on their classic clothes. That's for sure. And I think in this and 10 years, we are gonna have a problem. And the big problem is, for us it's not too bad because for us it's good, like we are selling suits, but there are not a lot of tailors around like 3 4 years ago. So there are gonna come a lot of customers free who wants a suit, but I think there will be more customers than tailor shops that can help them.
Yeah, you're
So
100% right because it's a
I think
dying
that
breed.
there is gonna be a big problem, not but it's going to be a problem for certain
It's
customers.
really already a problem here. There
Yeah,
aren't any good, even just for alterations. It's
yeah.
very hard to find a good tailor.
Good one. We're speaking about the good one, like you
Yeah,
say. Yeah,
because all those
yeah,
tailors that were good, who had a career of tailoring, they didn't want their children to become a tailor. They
yeah.
went to college and they became a lawyer, they became a doctor, they went into
Exactly,
business.
exactly.
They didn't
Yeah,
sit and learn tailoring from their 10 years old because their father did it. Now they learned how to do it
yeah,
in some factory. So
yeah,
it's a real dying breed. It absolutely
yeah.
is.
Yeah, that's so that's something. Maybe there are some schools in Italy, so they are doing some projects of some school. It's from Aloisio. It's a school of Aloisio, La Scuola dei Sartori. So it's in Rome. They are incentivizing young people to get into school, in tailoring school, and get to learn it. So it can go either ways, but there's going to be a period in the next few years, I think, that there are not a lot of manpowers enough to
Mhm.
to make it happen, because there is, for example, an old tailor here in Brussels. He's 90 years old,
Wow.
and yeah, I'm receiving some customers of him already,
Yeah.
but 90 years old I think he's almost, I think everybody wants to work until 90.
Sure.
So I
Sure.
think that everybody will sign it. So I hope he will work another 100 years. But
Right.
I think it's going to be a problem that those customers who comes free and are used to a certain level of suit, that's going to be a problem in the future.
Right. Right. Yeah. Look, I totally agree
Yes.
with you on that.
I don't think that there is gonna be like the suit is dead. It's not true. It's like the tie is dead. It's not true. We sell ties, a lot of ties. We sell a lot of ties. We
Yeah.
never
I
sold
think,
a lot of ties like
I
in
mean,
2022. So yeah,
I asked you the question, but my own opinion is that it's even more so than it's ever been.
yeah, exactly.
People into suits and shirts and
Yeah.
ties, and it's even more. And they like to pick their own things,
Yes, yes,
make their
they
own
know in
things.
advance. They know in advance what they're gonna buy, but the thing I want to say about, I think there is also a lot of generation, because like you said, there are lawyers, and before there were or hairdresser, like a barber, or a
Mhm.
shoemaker, or a tailor. That were the three in some generations,
Yes.
60s, 70s. Um, I think that there's going to be a generation more of self-made mans, and that's maybe even better uh, I think to give some new inspirational ideas in some ways of tailoring. I think because the tailors are really good at what they do. They are really good with their hands, and their craftsmanship is impeccable. But I think it also needs some modern way of thinking. Where are we going? Uh, do we have to do it like this or like this? Nothing to do with the craftsmanship, or putting less work in it. No, no, no. Even put more work in it, but with another vision of
Mhm.
the modern. It's like maybe Elon Musk says, because he always says that there needs to be a younger generation, because if the younger generation is not there, there's not going to be new ideas, because if it's only older generations, we're going to be only with the older ideas, and that's the same thing here. And that should be good, that there is in the future more self-made men in which brand ever. But I think they're going to do even better than the than
In the
maybe
previous.
than the previous, yeah,
Yeah.
because they have the new ideas there. They grew up differently. Maybe, I don't know, they
They grew
can
up.
bring
They grew up with. They grew up with this in
with the
their hand.
phone, exactly.
The phone.
They already had another knowledge.
Access to the
Yeah.
whole world right from the phone.
Yes, exactly, exactly. They will grow up more faster and smarter than we were
Yeah, it's
at
happening.
18,
Sure.
that we were at 10, 15,
Right.
18 years old. So
Right.
they're more informed at that
Yeah.
age. So, and I think you will be also more mature at
Of
that age.
course.
Not all.
What is your young child doing on the phone, doing on the iPad, doing everything?
Yeah, they do everything. They do
Yeah,
everything. So
doing everything.
yeah, that's
Excellent, really. So, look, thank you for coming on the podcast.
well, thank you for inviting me
I
again.
had a very nice conversation with you, and good luck with everything you're doing in Brussels, and also not Brussels. I meant to say Belgium,
Belgium.
and also in the new endeavor in Italy, and
Thank
getting
you
the
very
new
much.
lab getting the new lab going. And
Yeah.
when I come to Europe, hopefully it'll be soon at some point. I'll come again to Brussels. I'll visit. Or if you come to New York,
Okay. Yes.
we'll
So we
make an
can do.
appointment to have a ristretto.
Yes, we will do a
Here,
ristretto. Or you come
here.
to Puglia, and will have a ristretto in
Right.
Puglia.
Or we'll do it over there. That's right. That's right. So thanks so much. I appreciate it. And thanks everybody for watching and listening to this podcast. And this will be on YouTube and also on Spotify, Apple, and Google, and all the other podcast platforms out there that you can listen to. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all when I'm back at it.